Season 52, War number 2, and we're up against Celestial Avengers, and this time my team will be Omega Sentinel, Werewolf by Night, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. We'll be taking Path 1 in Section 1, Path 6 in Section 2, a Bullseye, Onslaught and Arcade mini-boss, along with the Maestro boss there, with Werewolf by Night. Now, I am taking a split path in Section 1, couldn't exactly fit myself anywhere else, and since I do have a lot of experience using Omega Sentinel in the past, we figured this would be a good place to put myself. Now, the first matchup here is a Domino on the Masochism Overtime and Indomitable nodes, and I am taking this fight with Omega Sentinel, starting with the heal block pre-fight. Now, I do also have the White Magneto pre-fight active here, so that my parry stuns will not trigger the Masochism node, allowing me easy access to openings. To deal with the defense tactic here, I'm essentially only relying on Omega Sentinel's personal heal block on that second medium, and to trigger it I first have to do a double medium to first make the first heal block debuff consume the Masochism node, and then inflict another heal block before the Masochism cooldown is over. And now with that single heal block debuff on the opponent, my job is to keep it up by ending all my combos with a light attack. The light ender pauses all of Omega Sentinel's personal debuffs, that includes the Incinerate, the Plasma, heal block tracking, as well as the Cowardice debuff. Now here, at the end of the fight, I did drop the heal block. I was having some trouble getting the pauses in due to Domino here getting that lucky passive a bit too often, and also evading quite a few hits. So here I am trying to inflict another one of those heal blocks, just to make sure the defense tactic is in check, so I don't randomly miss or need a special 3 in this fight. So now I got the heal block back on, Masochism is on cooldown, I dropped the special 3, which inflicts 6 Incinerate or Plasma debuffs against mutants, and the damage from that is enough to close out the fight. Now, usually when playing Omega Sentinel, I like going for the special 3 route regardless, just to get the damage in without needing to manage your personal debuffs all too much throughout the fight. All you need is just a single heal block and you're good to go. If it falls off, you can just inflict another one and keep on going. And then we have a Vision Aarkus here on the Power Spill Up Unblockable and Superior Specials nodes, and I'm taking the fight with Werewolf by Night. I still have the invulnerability boost active from the previous fight, so I just went in with the recoil masteries. I will be taking some damage from those, but it's okay, not a big deal. I don't mind using potions for war. And essentially the goal here is to just get the special 2, preferably while the curse is active, and then just nuke the fight with a single special 2. The invulnerability boost here is on just in case I happen to eat a special 2 or a special 3. This 200% passive prowess here, it's very potent, so I would rather not risk eating any specials. The fight went down without any bigger problems. He was being very special happy, which made the fight quite simple. Then we have a Northstar here on the Power Spill Up Unblockable and passively special nodes, and I'm taking the fight with Omega Sentinel. Again, the fight here is fairly straightforward, just the usual Omega Sentinel rotation, double medium to get the heal block up to handle the defense tactic, and now just light ending combos to keep the heal block paused. If ever at any point in the fight the heal block falls off or is about to fall off, I just simply throw another double medium, get a second heal block up with a full duration, and then switch back to light ending combos to keep it paused. The rest is simple. Now against Northstar, if at all possible, just bait the special 1, so much easier to deal with than the special 2 with all the light beams and whatever else it has. Spacing for this one, also for heavy counters, is quite easy, which will be showcased in just a moment. Now, before dropping my special 3 here, I go for another double medium to re-inflict a heal block there, because the previous one just fell off, And now, with the incinerates, or again plasma demons against mutants, I have all the damage I need to close out the fight relatively quickly. Plan is now to just keep them paused by any means necessary, and another way to pause them is your heavy attack. Unfortunately, the heavy also cycles your personal debuffs there on the double medium, so you do need to watch out for that if you're using heavies for pauses. If the heal block falls off and you're in the wrong debuff mode, you're gonna have to cycle back to the heal block before you can then stop worrying about the defense tactic once again. So now was my first mastery change for this war. Mastery changes are quite common whenever using Omega Sentinel, since I do need to turn suicides, or rather recall masteries on and off for, well, many fights, but luckily this war is not as bad with the changes. This fight right here is a Bullseye on the event for knockdown and right back edit mini-boss node along with aggression prowess, and I am taking the fight with Negasonic Teenage Warhead. This is the only fight I brought her in for, and she counters the fight perfectly. It probably goes without saying that Negasonic was essentially created to fully shut down Bullseye, and that is what she does. She completely shuts down the counter evade hit, allowing you to just combo him in the corner over and over, and as long as you just don't push him to a special 3, you're fine. Now, one thing I gotta mention here is that do practice the special 2 decks, because if you can't dex it or if you fail the dex, the damage is, well, it's noticeable to say the least, especially with all the prowess that can stack up even during the special animation. So I have a lot of practice dexing the special, and for good reason. If I didn't, I would practice it a ton before taking this, otherwise I would not be comfortable with it. Now, so far the fight has gone pretty well. I made a slight mistake in managing this guy's power bar, and I did need to bait a special 1 there, which dealt a ton of damage. But it wasn't actually as bad as it could have been. He was quite happy, or trigger happy, throwing the special 1 immediately, so the prowesses didn't get out of hand. Now, even though I did take some chip damage there, it's not an issue, since I will not be using her for any other fights this war. Now next up we have an Onslaught here on the Scared Stiff mini-boss node along with the Bubble Shield node and Perfocus 2 node, and I will be taking this fight with Werewolf by night. Werewolf against Onslaught is a fairly common matchup for me, and the node here, while it does make it more annoying, since the Scared Stiff root timer will keep ticking during this guy's very long special animations, I'm honestly not too worried about it. Even if I do get rooted, I can either escape it with a special or a striker, or I can simply just wait it out, bait a heavy attack or something, and then just keep the fight going. Now, of course, there, with the very first root of the fight, I mess up and get comboed, but Onslaught here did barely any damage to me for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'm not complaining. Now, first special 2 down with the curse active, is quickly melting here below 50%, and all I gotta do is just do that once more, and that should be the fight over. Now, one mistake I did there, along with, well, failing to dex the heavy attack, was to throw a medium while the root was active. If you're using a double medium champion, you can't really do that, because the root keeps you in place while you're double medium. The first hit of that will push the opponent slightly backwards, causing the second medium hit to whiff and potentially allowing them to punish you for it. Luckily this time he didn't do that though, and I was able to escape that, well, apart from the heavy attack I ate straight after, but that is still something to keep in mind when taking the fight with, well, any double medium champion. Quickly gonna heal him up here, since I will have another fight following here with Werewolf by night, and that is an arcade on the Polka Dot Tower and Stunning Reflection mini-boss node along with Brute Force as well. And as I said, this will be done with Werewolf by night. Now Arcade has a ton of immunities, but Rupture is not one of them. So Werewolf by Night is able to just fully utilize the Volcarot power node here, inflict those Ruptures for the passive power gain, and then just spam special 2s for damage, and that's about it. To fight Arcade, you always wanna bait the special 2 and dex out of the last hit, and that way he will not gain any of his Arcade tokens, the yellow symbol that he would normally get, and then that basically means he does nothing as a defender. Now, do try to keep yourself out of the opponent's corner. If you try to bait a heavy for an opening while standing on top of the thing he's currently standing on, he will passively stun you with the heavy charge and you will eat the heavy. So try not to stay in his corner, get out of there ASAP if you get even close to it, and you should be good to go. He did end up using a special one there at the end of the fight, but as the fight was essentially already over, it didn't matter, thankfully. Then we have the final fight of the war, a Maestro boss that I will be taking with Werewolf by Night as well, and well, this isn't the best matchup. I am sure there are better options for Maestro bosses in general, but a rank 3 Werewolf by Night can still do the fight just fine. It's just not the fastest option, and you will take some damage guaranteed. Now the game plan is to just get some Ruptures on early, so I get double gain on the curse charges, I keep forgetting what they are called, to hopefully get the first specialty off with the curse active. Now with the glancing up, of course, you can't inflict the Ruptures on your mediums, only on your specials, unless you have the curse active. The curse increases your Rupture ability accuracy, so even your mediums can inflict them through the glancing, however they will still suffer from the reduced attack rating that glancing also does, which is fun. But that's okay, the majority of this guy's damage output comes from the special 2s, as you can see. Now, the boss node still has the resistance node there. I don't remember what it's actually called, but the one that stacks those energy and physical resistance buffs, and that's pretty helpful here, especially if you're fighting a boss that doesn't gain any personal buffs. The curse that Wolf has is paused even while you're not attacking the opponent if they have a specific amount of buffs, and that aids you with that a lot. Especially now, and that Maestro here is in his, scary phase, I should say, while all his personal buffs become passives instead, which means the burst damage on Wolf's special 2 will not apply with the passives, they only look at the resistance buffs here, and also pausing the curse, that's not gonna help you there, so the resistance buffs help you out here in more ways than one. With that said though, the damage decrease from the physical resistance buffs, it's noticeable, and the longer the fight goes on, the less damage you will deal, but it still shouldn't take the full 5 minutes, so timing out should not be a problem. I still have almost 3 minutes left. I go for one last special 2, and down he goes. Fight took about 2 minutes and 15 seconds ish, and I did take a ton of damage, mostly from block baiting heavy attacks as well as the cosmic radiation, but overall the fight wasn't too bad. As for the results, we did end up actually tying the war in deaths, but we did win on fight time, which usually when we get a tie, we just lose the fight time almost guaranteed, so this was a nice thing to see, and well, we still gotta get better at the not dying part of war. That would be great.